Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing an extremely easy makeup tutorial. I actually saw this on Instagram. I'm going to show you the reference photo and I'm going to leave the artist down below. But I saw it. It was so simple but makes such a big impact, especially in like lower lighting situations, direct sunlight. The shimmers in this palette just really pop. I did use the new ABH Cosmos Palette. So if you want to see how to get this look, then just keep watching. Okay, here's the look that we are going to be recreating. For the most part, I did do like a different type of wing, but this look, obviously they did it in very low lighting situations, so it looks a little bit different, but it is the exact same look. I did follow their tutorial, and this is by tatabeautyofficial, which I will link down below. So I'm starting out by priming the eyes, and I'm using the Sigma Beauty eyeshadow base in the shade Persuade. This is really nice. I have been a big fan of the MAC paint pots, but I've been finding that they don't hold my shadows as well as they used to. I don't know if it's just with age and whatnot, but this has been fantastic. It just holds the shadows a little bit better. I find that they don't crease with this primer. And then I'm just going in and buffing that out. I'm also going to take this a little bit on the inner corner, and it's going to kind of color correct my dark circles as well, because I want this to be nice and bright on that inner corner. For the eyeshadows, I'm going to be using the new Anastasia Beverly Hills, the Cosmos palette. And here's what the palette looks like. So I think they did a good job with this palette as far as all of the mattes being fairly neutral, wearable shades. But the shimmers are a good variety. So you have different types of tones. They're not too intense. They're very just nice, subtle pops of shimmer with like really interesting shifts. You'll kind of see the more that I play with it. And if you've seen this palette, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I've been really liking this recently. First, I'm going to take the shade Eclipse. And with that shade and a Sigma LO6 brush, I'm just going to sketch out a little outer V. Using very light pressure, I'm going slow with this. I want it to be a little bit of a thicker line, that's why I'm using a small pencil brush instead of a like eyeliner brush or an angle brush. I'm going to take it to about there. I'm just going to straighten up that line from how it sits when I look forward. And now I just got a little bit more, and I'm not starting at the very tip of that line. I'm going to go a little bit further in. I'm going to angle this inward till about here. So you can see I kind of have the rough draft of that shape, but it doesn't really suit my eye shape, so I'm going to give it like a little bit of a swoop. So I'm just going in with a little bit more product. I'm going to very lightly work on this little tail part right here. And you can see I'm kind of blending out that line at the same time. I'm going to lift my eyebrows so I don't have any creases in here. I'm going to blend out that color. So I want it harsh, but blend it at the same time. I'm using the very tip of that brush to extend that tail. And I'm just going to keep building that up. That way it's nice and opaque, but also blended at the same time. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that shape right there. Next, I'm going to take the shade Space Dust, and with a Sigma E49 brush, I'm just going to blend that into the crease. This is just going to give me a little bit more definition in the crease area. Just going in with a little bit more. So I'm putting that into the crease and then kind of fading it up towards the brow. Next, I'm going to take the shade Orion, and now with a really small shader brush, this is a MAC 228, I'm going to put this on the outer third of the eye, kind of inside that triangle shape that we created. So you want to use a small brush for this because you don't want to overlap the shimmers too much. And now with a bigger brush, this is a Sigma E57, I'm just going to bring that in a little bit. You could obviously still use a smaller brush, but this is just much faster. Next, I'm going to take the shade Super Cluster, and I'm using that same E57 brush. I'm just using the other side of it. I'm going to pack this on the other half of the lid. This is one of my favorite colors in this entire palette. So I'm just doing stamping motions. I like this color a lot because it has that blue shift to it, but it doesn't have a lot of like base pigment, so it just looks very natural. But when it hits the light, then you see that pop of blue green. Going in with a little bit more. Now I'm just going in with my finger right at the center of the eye with the blue. And then with the shade Orion, which is the pink, I'm going to take a different finger and also pat that in the center. And then I'm just going to go back and forth and blend the two. That way it's the most intense and pigmented right in the center of the eyelid. Like that. Okay, so I just applied my under eye concealer. Now I'm going to take that shade Space Dust and a Sigma E25 brush. And I'm just going to buff that along my lower lash line. And this is pretty much all we're going to do is shadow under there. I want to keep this really nice and soft. Alright, next I'm going to take the shade Quasar. If that's not correct pronunciation, blame YouTube because I did look that up. Okay, and I'm going to apply this on the inner corner, but I'm going to blow it out quite a bit. So this is probably my favorite shade in this entire palette. It's like a gold, but has like a greeny blue shift to it. It's just so pretty. So I'm going in with a little bit more to really blow that out. I feel like my camera is not doing these eyeshadows justice right now. I'm gonna kind of bring it up right here as well. Okay, I turned my brightness like almost completely all the way down. That way you can see the shifts of these colors. Again, still not doing it justice, but like this inner corner color is just to die for. Okay, now I'm just gonna apply some lashes and mascara, and then I'll come back and show you the completed look. This is a super, super simple look. Okay, so I just popped on my lashes, and once I had them on, I did a baby wing on top, and I mean like a baby wing, and I also did like a little inner corner point, but here is the look completed. I absolutely love it. It's so simple, but the shifts of the shimmers on the lid, I'm telling you, just make such a big impact. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this more simple sort of video, and I will see you in my next one.